So let's talk about three stocks that I really like for 2025. Full disclosure, I don't own any of these three. It'll be the first time and out of the ordinary of what stocks I typically talk about. So stick around. It should be a great video today.
Want to make your money work harder? Enjoy another video with Adam Kahn, the rational investor on stocks, real estate, and crypto. Subscribe now for your weekly dose of investment insights and hopefully learn a thing or two.
Hello, my YouTube friends, and good morning. Happy Saturday. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to talk about three stocks that I really love to own for 2025. I don't own any of these three, and I'm trying to decide what to do because I'm really sticking with my strategy of four stocks that I bought and potentially adding two more. So maybe I add one of these two, if not two of these two, as the year progresses, and possibly even now because I think the pricing is really attractive. So the three stocks, forgive me, the three stocks right off the bat are Louis Vuitton, ASML, and Uber. No particular order. Those three are the ones I really like, and for various reasons. I'll start with Uber since I mentioned them last. What I really like about Uber is the pullback it's had since Tesla announced its robo-taxi and since Elon Musk has had so much more of a say since the election. What I find interesting about this is it's not going to impact them for a long time to begin with. Secondly, I think that space has a lot of room for everybody who's in it to be a part of the business. I don't see if robo-taxis come along, that means the end of Uber. And when I've listened to the CEO at Uber, he has some great ideas that he's implementing that go beyond just the ride share. I'll talk about some of that. Uber has a ton of data, and one of the things, especially with Uber Eat, is what we order and where we order it from. What the CEO of Uber was talking about is competing directly with his current customers. And I don't mean the people who are riding the cars, I mean the restaurants that he's serving food from. So if their analysis figures out that pizza is ordered the most in this certain area, they're going to start opening a restaurant to compete and start selling pizza in that neighborhood, or Chinese food, or Indian food, or whatever it is they're selling that's doing really well in specific areas. They have a ton of data. They're able to see how much is being sold. And then what they're either going to do is they're either going to operate these restaurants themselves, or they're potentially going to sell them out to entrepreneurs with essentially, the database to be able to explain that this is how much of that food is sold in this area. My guess is if you add on top of that that they're vested in that business, when you go to order from Uber Eats, there might be a special or something else promoting this business. So it's not only about the cars and the ride shares and everything else. He has a good vision on how to grow the business. It's had a really big pullback ever since Tesla got involved, and the robo-taxi might have some benefits. But to be fair, we don't know that that's what's going to happen. So I think this pullback has created a great opportunity to get into a company that's doing really well and trading at an actual fair multiple of forward earnings. They're expecting to grow at somewhere between 15 and 20% over the next 2 years. And if they can continue to do that, I just see them as a great company and trading at a real fair price. I also think the pullback is kind of silly at this time because it's nothing like it's just about fear. And if fear is pushing the price lower, to me, that creates really good opportunity. Next on the list is Louis Vuitton. A little bit different from the stocks I normally pick, but what I like about Louis Vuitton is similar to Uber. It's had a really nice pullback. The pullback was due to not such great earnings recently, but I think the industry is cyclical. And with the economy the way it is, and certain people doing really well and certain people not doing so well, I think the people who do well may continue to buy from Louis Vuitton. I think as we go into 2025, what they've prepared us for is probably pretty accurate, and they're going to continue to grow and do well. The other thing that I really like about the company is the majority owner, who owns 48% of the company and is the originator of it. They actually added on to their position, and now they own a little bit more than 50% of the company. It's proven over time when owner operators are the ones running a company, they tend to outperform other companies. I think it's because they're so vested in the well-being and how well the company does. Uh, it's really a big deal to me to see them adding on when they already own 48% of a company. I think insiders don't tend to buy companies unless they see good news over in the horizon. I don't think they have any real insight that things are great, but I think they see it as a good value. And if the guys who started the company and run it and own it and everything else see it as good value, that's not something I want to ignore, and it's something that I don't mind jumping in on. I think they have a good brand. To me personally, you see how I dress and how I behave. I think it's all kind of silly, but it's not silly to the people who care about fashion and everything else. Louis Vuitton's been around a long time. I just don't see them going anywhere. And my guess is as we move into the future, earnings do well, they continue to grow, and they weather the storm if there is one to come. And then number three on the list is ASML. ASML builds these giant machines for the companies who produce the chips, like NVIDIA, Intel, um, Broadcom, and they're needed for creating these AI chips that are everybody's creating. I think they have a real moat on what they do because when I learned a little bit about what they're building, it takes multiple semi trailer trucks and planes to transport it. They run over $200 million for the machine, and nobody's really competing with them. The reality is they're a moat beyond moats. It's hard for me to picture that somebody's going to start a new process and try to compete with them on any level. I don't even think the people who are buying the products are able to do anything to start building for themselves. I just see them in this great position. I think the main risk is that anything with Intel, if they have to start lowering the amount of machines that they're ordering, because I see the other ones are growing and I think they're going to continue to buy the product as well. And then it's all the service and everything else that goes with it. Their last earnings didn't look as great as people expected, but I also think like what an opportunity to be able to get into a company that's just going higher and higher as of late. Now, as always, this is not financial advice. Please, I am not a financial advisor. Just use this as entertainment purposes only. I share the information that I look at because I like to do this stuff, but you guys need to do your own research when making your investment decisions. So please reach out to a financial advisor or however you handle your own financial decisions. I hope you all had a great week. I hope your portfolios are reaching new highs. I know Friday had a little bit of a pullback. The four stocks, and maybe we'll go into how many shares of each one that I bought in another video. If you'd like me to talk about that, I'm happy to go into what I bought, where I bought, and go over what it's up and what it's down. But the four companies were Google, Amazon, Boeing, and Meta. They're ones I talk about all the time, and it was really just kind of narrowing down to the companies I believe the most in and getting rid of the stuff that's the ancillary that I don't pay as much attention to. I think they're four really strong, great companies. Boeing is similar to the ones I talked about today that I bought it because the news wasn't so great and they're out of favor. I think 2025 is going to be a great year for Boeing. It's already beginning to show a bit of life. It seems like the negative news is beginning to fade away. The stock drifted higher, and it doesn't seem overstretched to me at this point, and it's already close to $170 a share. And not too long ago, a few weeks, it was trading below $150. I think this is a really good move considering it still doesn't feel overstretched. I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you been paying attention to it as I've been talking about it? I almost started joking somewhat when I'm like, I'm banging on the table trying to let you guys know because really I see it as a good opportunity. It's a company that's been around a long time. I don't really see the government allowing it to get to the point that they go out of business because they're going to want to have airplanes made in the USA. Um, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Fair enough. Like some things I'm right about, some things I'm wrong. I'm still sticking with those companies. The funny thing is they've had such a nice run in the past few weeks. My gut reaction is to get out and move on to something else. But I still think these are great long-term investments. I'm still looking at it as a trade, and I'm going to allow it to play out the way I want it to until something actually changes fundamentally. I'm not going to try to time it. I'm just going to stay with it. Anyway, hope your portfolios are doing great. Reach out if you have any questions. I'm going to try to do a live tomorrow, but my weekend, with the holidays coming up and everything else, it's been pretty packed. Even why, not shaved today. But hopefully I find the time in the morning and do it again like I normally have. And if not, I'll see you in a week or two. Have a great week. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.